Hi everyone and welcome to the Pearly Cute channel. So today's video is a little bit more of a rant. Ooh, demonise. Don't be angry. And to be honest, I didn't actually think I was going to make this video. So a few weeks back I was watching an interview with a Lolita and she said that her family was really happy for her to be wearing Lolita because she wasn't wearing what other girls her age were wearing. And this struck a nerve with me. It made me very angry. I was not happy. I think it's because I see this same sentiment echoed again and again and again so often online that it just infuriated me so much. But I did start writing a YouTube video. I did start planning to make it into a video to talk about the issue in a video, and then I decided maybe it's not the best idea because maybe it was a little bit too ranty. We like to be positive here. But then this week something else happened. I don't know if you guys really keep up a lot with like YouTube drama and stuff. It wasn't really YouTube drama, but it's like a lot of like commentary channels were talking about this one YouTube channel that has gained a lot of attention recently because the YouTuber has some very interesting points of view. And the video of hers that everyone is talking about is about wearing modest clothes and why you should do it. I'm gonna preface this with saying that it's absolutely fine to wear modest clothes. It's absolutely fine. No one is saying don't be modest. I think there's a lot of value in modesty, and I do think that it comes from a very good place. The problem with modesty is when you start to compare yourself to other girls because they are not wearing modest clothes, because they are not acting in a modest way, and that annoys me. I know it's hard to tell that I'm annoyed, but I happy laugh, I sad laugh, and I angry laugh. Like, I watched a lot of videos about I've watched two videos. I watched two videos. What is wrong with me? I watched two videos about this girl and then I went and watched her YouTube video, and funnily enough, a lot of what she said really reminded me of what people say in the Lolita community, which is not a good thing. And so that kind of rebirthed the anger inside of me again. It kind of made me feel like, no, this is probably something I need to address. I think there are definitely quite a few people that kind of have this idea that modesty is a good thing, and showing off skin and dressing in a promiscuous way is bad. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about why that is a very negative attitude to have and a very problematic attitude, and I don't like it. So I think at the base of this whole thing is the question, is Lolita actually modest? And I mean, yes and no. Like, I don't really consider it a very modest fashion. I don't consider it to be modest at all. And here is my reasoning. So I think a lot of people think, oh, if it covers your shoulders and it goes down to your knees, you're not wearing crop tops, you're not wearing mini skirts, then it's modest. And I guess in a way that is true. You're not dressing in a way that's revealing a lot of skin. Lolita fashion is all about kind of drawing from historical fashions and emulating them in a more modernized way. So I can totally understand why you would think it was modest in that way. You know, women were made to dress very modestly in the past, couldn't even show their ankles, couldn't even show their arms, had to wear a hat. So I get it. Like, I get it. But to me, that is not what modesty is in its entirety. The reason that I'm so hesitant to call Lolita modest is because of the nature of it in itself. It's a very loud, very gaudy in some cases fashion. It's so out there, you stand out so much, and the whole point of modesty is really to blend. It's not to stand out. I just think that if your goal is truly to be modest in what you wear, you wouldn't wear Lolita. I'm not trying to say that like all Lolitas are super attention seeking, because we're not, but I think at the lowest level everyone understands that Lolita grabs people's attention. I think we're all okay with that. But if we weren't happy to stand out, then we would wear things like jeans and t-shirts and hoodies and things like that. If we really wanted to blend and stay completely modest, you know, wear long clothing and things like that, there are many, many other options. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that, in my opinion, because of the way that Lolita stands out, it cannot be seen as a modest fashion. If you want to see Lolita as modest, then that's fine. That's absolutely fine. But I feel like the concept of women dressing modestly has kind of been tarnished by the idea that women shouldn't dress promiscuously and, you know, shouldn't wear certain things because then they're asking for the male attention and things like that. And so I feel like the idea that someone says, oh, I dress modestly, kind of immediately says, oh, but she doesn't. I'm better than her. I dress modestly, so I'm good. I'm a good person. I'm good. But her over there, she doesn't dress modestly. She doesn't dress like me. So she's not as good as me. She's bad. And I definitely see this coming through a lot in the Lolita community. I think it was quite an acceptable thing, and I think it still is, to be fair, quite acceptable to say, oh, if your parents don't accept Lolita, just, you know, just explain to them it's a very modest fashion, you know, we're covering our shoulders, our skirts are long, and that's fine, and that's why we should be allowed to wear it. And I get that, but the problem is that so many times I see it coming hand in hand with the idea that I'm wearing something modest, unlike other girls my age who aren't. As I said at the beginning of this video, the whole reason I'm making it is because I saw this exact thing happening. I saw someone saying that their family accepts the way they dress because they're not dressing like other girls their age. And to be fair, maybe it's because I don't really like go online that much and like join in with a lot of like online topic and discussion and whatnot. But I definitely used to see it a lot more in the past than I do now. I don't know if it's actually decreased now. I don't really check in on the Lolita groups that much, so I don't really know. But it's definitely something I used to see a lot, and it's still something that I do see to this day, just not as much. I just thought we were past this discussion. It's just such an old discussion to be having, and I think it just annoys me that I still see it. I still see people pushing other girls down. I still see girls pushing other girls down because of what they're wearing. I still see girls kind of allowing slut shaming to take place, basically. So I think there's this idea within the Lolita community that because we're dressing the way we dress, it does mean that we are better than other people. And I'm definitely someone who's subject to this. Like I've said so before in a video, like when I go out and I look at other people, I'm like, wow, I'm so proud. Like I actually managed to come out and like dress like this and really be true to myself. So there's definitely a little bit of like, I'm so much better than everyone else kind of attitude, which I think isn't so bad, because I'm not really comparing myself to an actual person. I'm comparing myself to a theoretical person. I'm comparing myself to people as if they wanted to wear Lolita, but they had a fear of not wearing it. So it's not quite the same thing. Whereas I feel like with the modesty issue, people are directly looking and judging other girls for what they're wearing and saying, well, at least I don't dress that way, I'm pure. And I think the scary thing is that this has become a very acceptable way of introducing Lolita to your family. If you're scared that your family is not going to accept you for the clothes that you wear, a lot of people say, well, just tell them it's modest. Just tell them that you're not dressing the way that other teenagers are dressing, other girls are dressing at your age. Ooh. But all this does is really concrete the idea that dressing in a way that is very revealing, that shows off your body, is bad. And I think another thing that really annoys me is that I feel that Lolitas, more than any other group, or at least people who are alternative fashion, more than people who don't, we should really be able to empathize with them. Lolita gets sexualized all the time. It gets fetishized all the time. The amount of people that have been asked whether this fashion is a fetish thing, or have had people slide into their DMs trying to roleplay with them because they're Lolita and they must be ooh into DDLG. Ooh. The fact that we have a problem with DDLG just shows that we are very, very fetishized. It's really great. And so I think that we should really be very understanding that in the same way that we are not dressing for the male attention, we're not dressing for the wrong kind of attention, we're not dressing for sexual attention. Girls that wear very revealing clothes are probably also not doing it for that kind of attention. They're not doing it for sexual attention, they're doing it because they want to. Even if they are dressing because they want that kind of attention, why is that a bad thing? Like, why is that even a bad thing? It's not a bad thing to dress for sexual attention. It's not a bad thing to only dress for the male gaze. It's not a bad thing. But we've made that a bad thing as well. Wear whatever the heck you want, and don't judge other people for what they're wearing. And don't put other people down for what they're wearing just to push yourself up. In conclusion, what I'm trying to say is, do not adopt this idea of modesty is good and revealing clothes are bad. Because that then leads on to so many problems. It leads to girls not being taken seriously, it leads to slut shaming, it leads to so many bad problems, it leads to crimes being acceptable, it just leads to a lot of bad things, and it's so unnecessary. Okay, so I don't think it's a very good idea for me to kind of just leave you high and dry and leave you in this place. Like, ha, don't call Lolita modest, that's bad. Now, good luck talking to your parents about it. I don't know how qualified, I guess. I don't really have much experience. I was very lucky. My parents were really accepting of me wearing a Lolita. My mum actually came with me the first time I wore it out, and at the event where I wore it the first time, someone took a picture of me and my dad actually printed it out and put it up on the fridge because he was so proud. I mean, they don't quite get it, but they're happy. They don't care. They're like, you do you, Sarah, we're just happy that you're being yourself. What I'm trying to say is that I'm probably not the best person to talk about this. However, I just don't think that modesty would be a swaying factor for the majority of parents. I think if your parents are a bit against you wearing Lolita and then you go, yeah, but look how modest it is, look how modest this fashion is, and they're like, yes, no, yes, we see that, okay, you can wear it. I think there are a lot of other things that could have swayed them. I think a much better thing to do is to really think about why you want to wear the fashion. Have a really, really deep think about it, and then convey that to your parents. Tell them exactly why you want to wear the fashion and what it means to you. Most parents love their children and they just want what's best for them. And so I can completely understand why parents say no to their children wearing Lolita. There's a lot to it, it's very full on. The name, its doll-like appearance, the fact that it stands out so much. I think a lot of parents are just worried for their children's safety, and they just don't really want anything bad to happen to you. So I think really you need to understand that your parents are coming from a place of protection. They want to protect you. And just coming out the bat and being like, oh, but this fashion is modest, I won't be wearing what other girls are wearing, kind of concretes the idea that modesty good and revealing clothes bad. So it's really not a good route to go down. But if you can really talk to them and be like, look, this will really bring me happiness, and really talk to them like an adult about it, and kind of negotiate a bit with them, be like, okay, well, I'll make sure that I only wear it out when I'm with someone else, when I'm with other Lolitas, or ask them to come with you to meetups and they can just drop you off, and make sure you're with a group of other Lolitas and then come and pick you up afterwards, and things like that. So a lot of it is about just kind of, they just want to make sure you're safe. They really just want to make sure that you are safe. So really just communicate with them. Make sure they understand why you want to do it and what you will do in order to make sure that you are safe while wearing the fashion. it's just so much healthier to do that than to compare yourself to other girls, because once you compare yourself to other girls, it's a slippery slope. I'm sorry, it's a slippery slope. You will just continue to compare yourself, and then you'll compare yourself to other girls wearing the fashion, and then that just, that creates problems. Just try not to compare yourself to anyone, and don't bring this idea of revealing clothes are bad. I know this advice was exceedingly vague. Don't worry, I do know. But every single situation is so different. Everyone's parents are so different. Everyone's family is so different. Everyone is different. And you really need to really come at it from a place of honesty. So there's not really much more that I can say. Like, I can't give you a step-by-step. You have to think about it, and you have to come up with what you're going to say on your own, because it's personal to you. Plus, also, I haven't experienced having this chat with my parents, so I don't really have the experience. What? So I can't really talk about it from experience. Also, I'm really sorry. I feel like this video has been very woman focused. It's been very like focused on girls only. So to my non-female viewers, I'm very, very sorry. But I do think that this is a very woman-centered problem, and it's very important and needs to be addressed. Anyway, I'm not the most eloquent person, and I do find it quite hard to get what I'm thinking. I find it quite hard to get what's going on in my brain out of my mouth. So I kind of hope this made sense. I did plan this video, and I did write down my thoughts. That did help me just get it a little bit clearer, but I have so many thoughts. If you have any questions about it, or you want to like talk about it, just comment down below, or DM me on Instagram if you have like any further questions about it. I'm happy to chat. Hopefully I can help people out. If you don't agree, hopefully we can discuss that, because I'm really open to it. I'm genuinely so open to this. Open to all kinds of discourse, as long as you're not rude and you don't harass me. Okay. Also, shout out to Monty G on Twitter for drawing this amazing fan art of me. Thank you. That was a really nice surprise to wake up to, and it's such a nice picture. I absolutely love seeing people's artwork. I love seeing different art styles, so that was a really nice thing to wake up to. So thank you so much, Monty G. And that's pretty much it from me. So thank you all so much for watching, and as always, thank you for liking, commenting and subscribing, and I will see you next time. Bye! Mwah!